Hi, welcome to the Main Game YouTube channel. My name is Thomas, and today we are continuing our series on second wave players in the NFL draft. Everybody has their own hot take on the top tier of the class at pretty much every position at this point. Some people have gone into depth about guys further down the board, but I want to specifically target that second wave of guys who aren't viewed as highly as the others. In this video, we're going to be going over the wide receivers of the class. Just for quick reference for you guys, I'm going to go over my top five, and this is in order. At number one, I have Jackson Smith-Njigba. 2, I have Jordan Addison. 3, Zay Flowers. 4, Josh Downs. And at 5, Quentin Johnston. I'm not going to go into super deep detail about that. I am not high on Quentin Johnston. I think given where he goes, he can have a good NFL career. I don't know what it is. I feel bust in Quentin Johnston. I can't give you an exact reason behind it. I just feel bust in him. That's all I'm going to say about it, but that's my opinion. All right. Sorry. If you watched the last video, I have a little bit of a stuffy nose here, a little bit of a sore throat, so sorry about that. But number 6, I have Jalin Hyatt from Tennessee. Pretty much everybody in this draft class is undersized, so you just got to take that into consideration. But 6 foot, about 176 pounds. Good production at Tennessee last year, 67 receptions, over 1,200 receiving yards, over almost 19 yards per reception, 15 touchdowns. Ran a 4.4, which is good, but people expected him to run sub 4.4, so it was kind of a letdown, but it's still fast. My big thing with Jalin Hyatt is he is a home run hitter, and that's all he is. If you want a guy who can spread the field and run down straight and run across the field and get down 40, 50 yards every single time you need a home run ball, he will beat the defender and he will get open. But if you want anything else from him at this point in time, he's not it. He's not a short route guy. You might be able to do some trickery with some, reverse stuff with him, but he has to work on his game so much at the next level to be an all-around wide receiver. Right now, he's just a deep threat. That's all he is, and that's all he showed at Tennessee. Partially, is that because that's just how Tennessee ran their offense? Yes. But he's going to have to prove at the next level that he can work in the intermediate and short routes, unless yet to be proven. So he's amazing at what he does. He's the best in this class at what he does, at being that home run hitter. But he needs tremendous work at everything else, and that's why he's at my top 5. I mean, you can make a case. I can almost, if he had just a little bit of other tools to his belt, I would put him higher than Quentin Johnston. But he doesn't, so that's why he's at 6. At 7, the undersized boy from Houston, Nathaniel Dell. 5'8", 165 pounds, short, but my God, is he a baller. I mean, 109 catches, almost 1,400 receiving yards, 13 yards catch, 17 touchdowns, sub 4.5, which is kind of slow for his size, to be honest, but plays way bigger than he is. He's a great contested ball catcher. I think he's better. Not necessarily college production-wise, but you just look at his size and how he plays. A lot of people go Tavon Austin, yeah. But then you go the college Tavon Austin, and you're like, whoa. But then you go NFL Tavon Austin, and you're like, ugh. I think he has a higher ceiling than Tavon Austin for sure in the NFL. He's much more of a wide receiver than Tavon Austin was. Tavon Austin was a glorified gadget player who was tremendous at what he did in college as one of the greatest college players of all time. Did not translate to the NFL. Nathaniel Dell, given that teams don't just view him as a gadget player and actually use him as a wide receiver, whether it's slot, whether it's outside, actually make him run routes, actually use him properly, his ceiling is tremendous. Like I said, I've seen his tape, and the deep balls that he catches, the contested catches that he makes, beating guys that have 4 or 5 inches on top of him, he plays way bigger than 5'8", But that's the big hit on him is the fact that he is 5'8". And is that going to translate to the NFL with much tougher, much bigger corners and DBs and linebackers? Who knows? But his ceiling is high, his floor is really low. So that's why I have at 7. At 8, another guy who's been kind of being slept on a little bit in this draft class, Marvin Mims from Oklahoma. Same thing, kind of undersized, 5'11", a buck 80. He only had 54 catches this last year. Oklahoma's offense did not look good this last year. But, I mean, he still produced. I mean, he almost had 1,100 receiving yards. Only had over 20 yards per catch. Only 6 touchdowns. Ran a sub 4.4, which is great for his size. Big, deep threat potential. I view Marvin Mims as a prototypical wide receiver, NFL-wise. Yes, he is sub 6 foot, whatever, but he's got the speed. He's got the hands. He runs his routes well. I think his biggest knock is just the fact that Oklahoma's offense this last year was subpar, and he wasn't able to play it to his maximum potential. And some people may look at that as his own doing. Some people will look at it as a scheme thing. Oklahoma has been a team that has churned out wide receivers at a fairly consistent rate in the NFL. But once Lincoln Riley was gone, the team definitely took a step back this last year. So I'm really high on Marvin Mims. If I was an NFL GM, I would definitely consider taking Marvin Mims in the second round. I think he has early second round potential. Is he going to go in the early second round? No. Is he going to go in the second round at all? Potentially not. Is he a third round player? Probably. But he has early second round talent, and if a team views him as highly as some others like myself do, they're going to get a steal of a guy at Marvin Mims. But all right, at number 9, a guy that also I think most people don't have this high, and he has a lot of question marks around his game as well, but I can see the potential there. Cedric Tillman from Tennessee, 6'3", 210, absolute brawler, just an absolute unit of a man. He's had injury history basically his entire career. He was dealing with an ankle injury this last year, but I mean, when he did play, 37 catches, 400-ish yards, 3 touchdowns, not great. He only ran a 4.54, which is pretty slow, but I mean, he plays faster than that. He's got great size. When he was playing, he looked really good, but you got to take into consideration also, same thing with Jalen Hyatt, it's Tennessee's offense, and it's not a pro-style offense. It's a great college offense, but how much of that production is going to be able to translate to the NFL? And the fact that he's been in the league in college for a long time now raises questions. I don't like players that have to sit in college for a long time, and then once they're 23 years old or older, they start performing well, because it's really easy to beat up on guys who are 18, 19 years old when you're 5 years older than them. Is he going to be able to produce the same way that he was able to in college? Who knows? But he has the size for it. He can stay healthy. There's a couple guys in this class that are the same way, that health is a concern. But if they can stay healthy, like Marvin Wilson, Marvin Wilson from Stanford, same kind of thing. I don't have him in my top 10, but getting off track. Cedric Tillman, if he can stay healthy, crazy potential. Crazy size, crazy potential. But that's the big knock on him. Can he stay healthy, and can he translate his skills to a pro-style offense? And if you can, you're getting a late third round guy, potentially day 3 kind of guy, at an incredible value. But yeah. Last guy I have on my list is Jonathan Mingo from Ole Miss. Great size, 6'2", 220. I hate Ole Miss's offense. I hate it. Lane Kiffin. I'm an Alabama Crimson Tide fan. Like pro stuff, I'm all Minnesota sports. I needed one team that would win, so I picked Alabama. wasn't always super huge in college. So I like Alabama. I hate Lane Kiffin. I think he sucks. I've never been a fan of Lane Kiffin. When the Vikings, there was rumors 2 years ago before we hired Kevin O'Connell that the Vikings could potentially hire Lane Kiffin, and I was so mad when they were talking about it because I've never been a Lane Kiffin fan. I don't like how he runs his offenses. That's all I can say. I don't like Lane Kiffin. And I don't like how he runs his offense. And that's why Jonathan Mingo's only at 10, because his production wasn't great. 51 catches, 861 yards, 5 touchdowns. Not great. But I can see the potential. I can see the raw talent that he has. And if he was just on a team, I wasn't a big fan of Oklahoma this last year, but even if Jonathan Mingo switched places with Marvin Mims, he would have had better production than Marvin Mims this last year. I'm sure of it. I'm a big Jonathan Mingo fan. Ran a sub 4.5, 4.46 to be exact. So he's got good speed for his size. He moves. His movement is just great. He runs his routes so smooth. He catches the ball. He doesn't really have drop issues. It's just the tape does not reflect how good of a player Jonathan Mingo is, just because of the Ole Miss offense and how it's ran. So teams are going to look at that, and they're not going to view him as highly as other players because of his production, or lack of production, I should say. But if you can look beyond that and actually look at the raw player and look at his talent, put him on a team that is basically any NFL team, maybe aside from like Houston or something, because it's Houston, but put him on literally any NFL team, and he could be your wide receiver 2. At least. Starting day 1. That's how high I am on Jonathan Mingo. But I have him at 10 just because of his actual production, and you can't fake production. So, yeah, that's my 6 through 10 for wide receivers in this draft class. Just a quick recap. My 1 through 5 in order is Jackson Smith-Njigba at 1, Jordan Addison at 2, Zay Flowers at 3, Josh Downs at 4, Quentin Johnston at 5. And then 6 through 10 is Jalen Hyatt. 7 was Nathaniel Dell. 8, Marvin Mims. 9, Cedric Tillman. And 10, Jonathan Mingo. So yeah, that's what I got for wide receivers. If you guys have any tips or anything that you feel like would help me out make these videos better, more enjoyable for you guys to watch, leave a comment down below. Aside from that, if you like the video, leave a like, subscribe. But aside from that, that's all I got for you. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.